MAGA is turning against Donald Trump, not just Republicans in Congress or his base, but even the Republican media machine. Today, his depravity was on full display with that disgusting post about Rob Reiner and his wife. And MAGA had to face the real Trump, not the spun version from Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, or Jesse Waters. They hate it, and rightly so. Even Fox hosts called him out live on air, and Trump is panicking. We'll dive into all of it, but first, if you enjoy our channel, hit subscribe and leave a like. It really supports our work. Before we break down the Fox response, I want to share a heartfelt memory of Rob Reiner from Governor Gavin Newsom.
And the off-topic one is, can you expand upon your feelings about Rob Reiner and his impact on California, on politics, on the Democratic Party, and your relationship with him?
Well, just on that, because you hit my heartstrings. I was on a Zoom with the Reiners just a few weeks back and had this wonderful conversation comparing notes. And, you know, I was just reminded about how consistent they've been, how constant they've been in the cause of not just protecting democracy, but promoting well-being, social justice, racial justice, economic justice. When, Alex, I was out there feeling a little alone doing same-sex marriage in 2004. It was Rob who reached out. It's how I got to know him, saying he had my back at a time when a lot of members of my own party, the Democratic Party, didn't. And so he's been a friend for decades. And he's actually was their co-host on an event that I'm doing later this week. So it just breaks my heart. And I don't know enough. We don't know enough. But if, you know, indeed, an own member of their own family, how do you unpack that? And, you know, that just hits home in every way, shape, or form in terms of, again, what we're even fighting for here today. And just trying to continue to lead by example. But anyway, my heart goes out to his family and this terrible tragedy. As it relates to this,
Rob Reiner was an incredible activist, but not a political figure. He stood for democracy, voting rights, and basic human rights. That's not politics. It's being a responsible citizen. He created beloved art, was a talented director and actor, and a valued member of his community. He wasn't a controversial podcaster or a right-wing grifter. There was no reason for malice toward him except that he spoke out against Donald Trump, which was his duty as a citizen. The right's outrage versus the left's response to Charlie Kirk's racism, while Trump celebrated the deaths of a man and his wife, makes no sense, especially considering Reiner's measured response after Kirk's death. Next, we'll look at how Fox reacted to Trump's post.
First heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk. What was your immediate gut reaction to it?
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him. And that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service, that the memorial they had, was exactly right. And totally, I believe, you know, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others, and I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful and absolutely, you know, she forgave his assassin. And I think that is admirable.
People on the left, myself included, had every right to call out Charlie Kirk after his death. A bigot, a grifter, someone who helped put a fascist in office. But Rob Reiner spoke from outside of politics, operating from a place of activism and advocacy, not part of any political class. He stood up for democracy, human decency, and against bullies. He wasn't a left-wing extremist. He made great art and wanted a better country. The right's attempts to justify Trump's attack by comparing it to left criticism of Charlie Kirk are absurd. Even the Fox host saw through that nonsense and spoke out against Trump's post, showing that MAGA is starting to revolt.
Posting that guy. Meantime, there are Trump supporters out posting criticism. Robbie Starbuck is a conservative a supporter of the president. What happened last night to Rob Reiner and his wife was a savage butchering of 2 human lives. I don't care what their politics were or how they felt about Trump. No law-abiding human deserves this. We should pray for and send condolences to his loved ones and not make it political. Here's Senator John Kennedy.
I don't think the president should have commented. When the president says this kind of stuff, it detracts from his policy achievements and from his agenda.
So he's getting pushback, Guy.
As he should. There's a time and a place for politics and for trolling. A man being viciously murdered along with his wife, allegedly at the hand of their own son, is not that time or that place. And for the president to have put this out the way that he did achieves nothing and reflects poorly.
And Steph, he did put it out, and then he was asked about it and said basically the same thing publicly.
Yeah, Trump has continued to double down on his comments despite, hearing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who have been pretty clear in condemning the president's tone. And it is unfortunate to have the president of the United States taking a tragedy like this and inserting politics into a situation as sad as the one that led to the Reiner's death, especially after the year we've had, especially after, political violence has been such a big issue this year, whether it was the killing of the state lawmakers in Minnesota earlier this year to the killing of Charlie Kirk. This has been a conversation, so it is unfortunate, especially after a weekend of so much tragic news, that we would hear from the President of the United States and that he would decide to insert politics into this discussion.
We'll see where it goes from here. Panel, thanks. Stand by. Up next, the latest on the billion-dollar public funds fraud scandal in Minnesota.
This really shouldn't be complicated. I'm also a bit frustrated with the way people heap praise on the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, Thomas Masseys, and even Piers Morgan. Though to be fair, Piers did a solid job calling out MAGA mouthpieces on his show today regarding Trump's post about Rob Reiner. The problem is that these occasional moments of reality give them a protective shield. You can be a batshit Republican, voting against free school lunch, a woman's right to choose, blindly backing Trump, and if you step slightly out of MAGA fantasy, people act like you're a good faith actor for a moment. But the Fox hosts aren't normal. They live fully in the MAGA world, speaking its language and shielding themselves from reality. So when they finally call Trump out, it shouldn't be praised like some grand act. It should shock us that it took this long. They've been hiding their heads in the sand, distorting the truth with their state media spin, and protecting the MAGA audience from seeing Trump as he really is. Moments like Piers Morgan speaking truth are rare glimpses of reality, but they're just temporary before MAGA world swallows them back whole.
Well, it sounds like Donald Trump is getting. Yeah, but look, it does sound like he's getting pretty close to it. I mean, when he says that, he got killed reportedly due to the anger he caused others with his mind-crippling disease, Trump derangement syndrome, there is zero evidence for any of that. He got killed by his deeply disturbed son after what the TMZ and New York Post and others are reporting was a terrible family argument. The son, Nick, who's now 32, was a screenwriter who battled and talked openly made a film about drug addiction, homelessness, and so on. But apparently, used whatever kind of implement to slit the throats of his parents.
Yeah.
I
hear you. I'm not justifying it.
So
I don't think
there's any political motivation for this attack whatsoever. But Donald Trump has made it political by inferring very clearly that this happened because Rob Reiner attacked him.
You've gotten a small taste of reality, empathy, and humanity, friends. Keep exploring it. Keep pulling that thread. And maybe you'll see how Trump has always operated this way and continues to do so. Maybe then you can join the coalition calling him out. I won't pretend it's guaranteed, but I'll keep pushing. To support this work, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and if you stayed till the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.